What's up guys, in this box I have a LANGXUN 1500 watt snowmaker. With the Christmas season just starting up, I bought this to help make my Christmas videos a little bit more Christmassy because we don't usually get snow in Ohio until like the end of December or January, and I wanted to have some snow in my Christmas videos. I found this on Amazon. I think I got it for like $170. There are a bunch of different brands. I don't remember why exactly I chose this one, but I know that I liked it because it has a stand, a wireless remote control, and it had a video on the listing showing it working, and it looked like it worked really well. I did recently see a video for a Walmart snowmaker for $80 that looks like it works really well in the review videos on YouTube. I probably would have bought that if I would have found it first, but I think you might have to buy this stand separately for that one, so hopefully this one works just as well, if not better. So I'm gonna unbox this and try it out and see if it works as well as it looks like it does on the listing. Okay, everything is packaged up pretty well. They've got foam in here keeping everything nice and safe. Everything's wrapped in plastic and some bubble wrap. This is actually the liquid. We'll take that out first. Looks like this comes with two small concentrated snow fluid bottles. And there's some directions on the bottle right there that actually say you're supposed to dilute this with water. I will read the directions and make sure that we do this correctly before we add the liquid to the machine. And then I did buy another big bottle of snow liquid that may already be pre-mixed with water, but I'm gonna wait to use that one until I'm actually setting up my inflatables. Right here is the directions and a tube, a couple of knobs that look like feet, and the wireless remote right there. This is part of the stand. The machine goes right there. This looks like the liquid basin. So they actually supply a big jug that you can mix the liquid with. That is useful. I was thinking I was gonna have to use like a bucket or something, but that's awesome. This is the stand. It's actually a big beefy stand, and I'm dropping pieces. It was just a knob that I dropped on the ground. Yeah, that is a beefy stand, and it looks like it has a lock pin right there, probably to make sure that your machine doesn't fall on the ground. Big beefy legs, I'm happy with that. And then here's the power cord. Looks like it's already attached to the machine, and here is the machine. Some foam there to protect it in transit. That looks beautiful. Nice big snowmaker machine. I love the snowflakes on the side. Let's unwrap it. There we go. There is where the snowflakes come out of. This sock on the end here is somehow what creates the snowflakes. We'll see that in action in just a minute. There is a dent right here. I don't know if you can tell in the reflection there's a little dent. Not sure what that's about. Not a huge issue, just a cosmetic thing. That's okay. Let's get this thing set up in the stand and see it in action. Looking at the directions, it does say that there is a warranty. If there's any quality problems, the snow machine supports 6 months replacement service and 1 year warranty. They supply an email to contact them with, so that's good. It's always good to have a warranty. Installation looks pretty simple. Put the cow horns on. This is the cow horn. Goes right on the machine there and secures with the knobs in the bag. And then you put the cow horns with the machine on there on the stand. Tighten it on right there with the knob. Pretty simple. There's the knobs. Put the cow horn on just like this. There we go. Then you can tilt it upward, downward, whatever you need. Then we're gonna put it on the stand, open up the legs, place them however you want, tighten them with this. That's good. That is a beefy stand. Now this is not moving, and I think I can loosen this to make that go up. Let's try it. Yes. So I was wrong. That's actually not to tighten the legs. That is to tighten this rod. Let's raise it a little bit so we can put the machine on there. And there's a little hole right here. I believe that is where possibly this knob goes on. Maybe not. This one. Wrong again, maybe. Let's just put it on there and give it a try. Okay, kind of strange. That hole does not line up with this one. That kind of makes me think, like, what's this little lock pin for? I'm gonna take a look at the directions before I do anything else with this, just to make sure I didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Cow horns, expansion pipes, bracket, and adjust angle. So it doesn't really explain anything very well on there. We might just have to wing it. Yeah, I don't see any other way to do it. Let's see if this fits on there. Yeah, it fits. And if we tighten it pretty good, then it locks into place pretty well. So maybe then there's more holes on this pole as we raise it up. So then the lock pin can be slipped into that hole to make sure this doesn't come crashing down by the weight of the machine. That's probably correct. Yeah, that seems to be correct. Now I've just tightened these two bolts, or whatever you want to call those. I think they both do the same thing. They just keep this top pole secured. That way it doesn't wiggle and it doesn't fall. The lock pin also helps to make sure it doesn't fall. So this thing is pretty secure. I'm happy with how beefy the stand is, but it's pretty short. I can obviously always set it up on top of something, and that's probably what I'll end up doing so the snow is falling. But then again, I might not need to. In the videos of this thing working, it seems like the snow is shooting out pretty far. So I think I can just tilt it upwards and the snow will shoot out and then it will fall down. I'm gonna double check the direction directions and make sure that we do the liquid correctly. Then we'll load it in there, plug this thing in, and get it going. Okay, the directions on paper didn't really say anything about the liquid, but the directions on the bottle say to dump this thing into here and then add up to 1.3 gallons or 5 liters of tap water. The directions did say that it works a little bit better with distilled water, but I'm just going to use tap for now. And then mix it up really good. And then this tube goes into the top here. There's a little hole, and then the other end goes into the back of the machine. Okay, I filled this thing up with about a gallon of water. I could have added more, but it started overflowing because of all the bubbles it was making on the inside. So this little concentrated fluid thing made a little over a gallon if you put enough water in there. So this jug that they give you can hold the perfect amount for one of these little bottles. Now we can connect this tube, and there weren't any good directions to explain it, so I'm just gonna wing it. One end of the tube has this nozzle and the other end doesn't. I don't know which end goes into the back of the machine, so I'm gonna have to investigate the back of the machine and see if I can figure it out. Okay, it looks like the end without this little nozzle goes on the back of the machine. Let's just do that now. Looks like you just push it in there and then tighten this nut maybe? I don't know. There we go. I unscrewed this pretty good so it can come down the tube, and then you can push that on pretty easily. Then we can screw this in. Now it's attached. I've moved the machine into a place where I'm comfortable shooting the snow out there because I don't know how the oil will react with my patio. So to be safe, we're just gonna shoot it into the grass for now. Then we'll put this end of the tube into here. Actually, that hole's too small. I'm probably gonna have to take off this tip and then feed it through. But now I can't get this cap off. What in the world? Okay, that was weird. If you get this, take the plastic ring off of this cap, because I could not get that off. That plastic ring was keeping this from just coming right off like that. A little weird. I don't know why they would even include that ring. Now I can feed the tube through and put the tip back on, just like that. Here you go, this is how it's supposed to be. There's the nozzle on the tube in there. Close the lid, and you're all set. They included some washers, but I have no idea what they'd want you to do with them. The directions could certainly be better with this thing. Okay, we're gonna turn it on. Here's the controls on the back of the machine. This controls the size of the snowflakes, and this switch controls the speed of the fan, I believe. The fuse, I'm not really sure what to do with that, but it says not to touch it. And then there's an on and off switch. So we're gonna start at the smallest snowflake size and the lowest fan speed, and let's see what happens. Here we go. Maybe there's a warm-up? Oh, there we go. Okay, nothing's happening yet. Let me check the directions. Okay, I mean, I think everything just basically says to check and make sure that nothing is clogged, but nothing should be clogged. A little bit of fluid has gone through this, but it didn't make it all the way up. Let's try it again. It's not taking the fluid through the hose. What could that be about? I guess let's just play with it a little bit. It's working. Whoa! Oh my goodness. That is very cool. Look at that. I just had to play around with it a little bit. That's what the issue was. That is cool. So we are about at medium for the snowflake size. Let's turn it up a little more. That's the biggest snowflake size. Wow. Look at that. Just like a snowy day. I'm gonna mess around with it a little bit more. Let's try the high speed. First I'll tilt this up a little bit. Okay, here goes high speed. Pushes the snow a little bit further out. Look at the snow building up on the ground over there. That's hilarious. We'll turn the snowflake size down. There is like a light blizzard. Wow, and look at this. It goes all the way over here. I hope you can see that. You can probably just barely see that. But this snow is going out and on the high speed. First of all, that looks great. That's a great snow right there. But it goes all the way over here depending on the wind. There's some flying right there. You can just barely see it flying in front of my neighbor's furniture back there. Wow, very cool. I'm gonna turn up the snowflake size again. Here we go, we're gonna turn up the snowflake size. Wow. That's cool. Let's tilt it back a little bit. That is very cool. I gotta stand in it, hold on. There's snow going all over my neighborhood right now. This is too cool. It feels like I'm in a snowstorm right now. This is nuts. This thing works great. As the wind blows, it's changing where the snow is going, but having the camera in that general area, it looks like I'm in a snowstorm. This is cool. It even feels a little bit chilly, the snowflakes. Very cool. I got some snowflakes on my microphone and my camera. I gotta be careful. I don't want to break them. Look at this. The wind is blowing right now, and it's blowing snowflakes all over my neighborhood. It's snowing in October. Okay, it's been going for a little bit now. We have some snow build up on the ground there, which is great. And this looks awesome. We haven't used too much of our fuel yet, so I think that would last a pretty long while like that. That is the low fan speed, and I have the snowflakes on about the lowest setting they'll go without turning off. Sort of. There we go. Very adjustable and awesome. The directions, I believe, said to turn that down, turn the snowflake thing down, and let it run for about 30 seconds, and then to turn it off. Let's double check on that before we do anything else. When shutting down, first reduce the amount of snowflake, wait for the blower to blow about 30 seconds, then turn off the power and shut down. Okay. That is awesome. And we have a ton of snow here. It just looks like bubbles. In a lot of the other snowflake machine review videos, people were asking how long the snow will stay on the ground, so I'm going to leave this here, and then I'll let you know how long it stood out here without melting. Okay, I've let it go for about 5 minutes now, and it really hasn't melted all that much. Maybe when I look at it on camera, it'll look like it melted a little bit more, but it actually looks like it's lasting a long time. So if you're looking to set the scene by shooting some of the snow all over the ground and then filming a scene where there's snow on the ground, this would probably be great for that. I'll keep an eye on this and I'll let you know exactly how long this lasted, but I gotta finish this video first because it is gonna be dark pretty soon here. But look at how realistic that snow looks, from the side especially. That looks really good. You can turn that thing on and really let this pile up a little bit, because that used hardly any of the fuel. Look at that. It's still filled up most of the way. That is great. From afar, it looks like real snow, especially when it's coming down. Okay, I'm about ready to shut this thing down and put it away. I'm going to use it tomorrow when I'm filming my Christmas inflatable videos. If you want to watch those, check them out on my channel. They should be uploaded by now. But first, I wanted to show my daughter the snow machine. She loves the snow. I don't know if this stuff is safe for kids to be touching, so I'm not going to let it touch her. That's one thing I will point out. I don't know, and it doesn't say on the bottle, if this stuff is non-toxic. There may be a non-toxic option that you can buy, but I'll have to look into that. Okay, ready?
No.
It's going to be a little loud. Whoa!
No.
Snow! Yeah!
No.
The wind is kind of blowing it around. I gotta protect my camera. Hold on, we gotta move the camera. Let's move the camera to protect it. Come here, camera. And maybe I'll move it over here. There we go.
Snow.
Yeah.
Snow, 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 snow,
It's
snow,
just
snow.
fake snow.
Snow, 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 snow.
What do you think? We're in a snowstorm. Of course, the wind is now blowing it in a different direction. Woohoo! We're in a snowstorm. All right, let's turn them off.
Again.
What do you think? Does it look like real snow? Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Back on.
Maybe later. That was fun. She loves the snow. I thought she might like that. When the wind blows, this thing really starts throwing snow everywhere. I've got snow up on the top of my gazebo. I'm sure there's fake snow all over the neighborhood right now. There you have it, guys. This thing actually works pretty awesome. I was really surprised about that. I'm glad that it worked well. I can't wait to use it for my Christmas inflatable videos. I'll put a link to this exact one from Amazon in the description below if you want to pick it up for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.